Okay. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the final session of the Faculty and Staff Virtual Professional Development Workshop. These workshops are sponsored by the Office of Human Resources and organized by the Learning and Organization Development Committee. I'll give a final shout out to fellow committee members that some are with us today, some are not. From Human Resources, we have Heather Killeen, Tara Struther, and Chris Everett. And from IT Services, we have Cindy Hay. And from the College of Business, we have Dr. Jeff McClellan. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Shannon Gribble. I'm class of '98, Director of Alumni and Donor Relations in our University Advancement Division. So just a few reminders before I introduce Ann. Please remain on mute to minimize the background noise during Ann's presentation. There will be an opportunity to ask questions where you can unmute, or you can certainly type your questions into the chat and I will read them to Ann for you. This session is being recorded today. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. I would ask you that you join me in virtually welcoming Dr. Ann Murtagh, who is an associate professor in psychology here at Frostburg. Take it away, Ann.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome. Let's get started with the mindful check-in. If you want to do the mindful check-in with us, just find a comfortable position for yourself. Allow your body to settle down and become still for a few minutes. You can either close your eyes or lower your eyes to a point in front of you and let your eyes rest there. And you can just breathe naturally, or if you would like, you could take 3 nice slow breaths in whatever way is comfortable for you. Taking a couple of minutes now just to touch base with yourself, to see how are you doing today? What's happening with you? What kinds of thoughts are on your mind? And what kinds of emotions are you carrying with you? And what kinds of body sensations are you noticing right now? Not judging any of these things as good or bad, just noticing what's here with a kind and interested attention. Just kind of coming home to yourself for a few moments, touching base. James Baldwin wrote, "Though we do not wholly believe it yet, the interior life is a real life, and the intangible dreams of people have a tangible effect on the world." And so we might pay more attention to our interior life, maybe developing a greater understanding and respect for our own inner experiences, and thus becoming more mindful, more tuned in, more compassionate in our lives. If you would like, take one more nice slow breath as we bring this brief check-in to a close. When you're ready, opening your eyes. Welcome back. Forgot to show you that slide while we were doing the check-in. So here's me, Ann Murtagh. As Shannon said, I'm a faculty member in psychology. I'm also a certified mindfulness meditation teacher. Today, we already did the mindful check-in. We're going to talk a little bit about what mindfulness is. And then most of the session, we're going to be actually practicing a body scan, keeping it kind of brief, and a mindfulness of thoughts practice. And then I want to leave some time at the end for questions, observations, and discussion. So what is mindfulness? Here's one definition, which is kind of blocked, but maybe you can't see the whole thing either. The pictures here are blocking, but anyway, it's the awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose and non-judgmentally to the unfolding of moment-to-moment experience. So it's an intentional, on purpose, paying attention to how things unfold moment to moment in a non-judgmental way, with compassion, with patience, with openness. And the thing that I like about this definition is it highlights that when you do that, there's an awareness that emerges. There's a new we know from research, there's a capacity of the brain that is strengthened, an awareness capacity that gets strengthened when you practice mindfulness. In one research that I read about, they called it a 1-second pause. That doesn't sound like much. Mindfulness practice can influence how you respond to stress and difficulty. It helps build in a 1-second pause. And that's enough to allow us to respond from the wiser parts of our brain instead of relying on knee-jerk reactions. So that 1 second matters. We're going to be doing a body scan and mindfulness of thoughts. The goal here is mindful awareness. For example, of your bodily experiences, of your thought experiences. And the goal is to give us that helpful 1-second pause, which can engage the wiser parts of the brain. You're actually retraining the brain as you practice to be less reactive and more reflective. Very important also to remember compassion. It's essential to balance awareness with compassion. It's like the two wings of a bird. In other words, you hold whatever comes, whatever experience comes with kindness and caring. And you keep an open heart, non-judgmental and patient. Important to be gentle with yourself. Research suggests that awareness without compassion can actually be harmful. So those two wings are both very important. One other thing I wanted to say about my approach is that it has a bit of a spiritual edge to it. There are many different ways to approach mindfulness. For me, it feels spiritual, and that's how I teach it. But mindfulness is not tied to any one spiritual tradition, and most religions do have contemplative practices. But there are also mindfulness practices that are simply secular, that don't really talk about spirituality. But I just wanted to give you that background because different things work for different people, right? So I teach it in the way that it feels meaningful to me, but there are other ways to approach it as well. Just want to give a chance to see if anyone has questions, and then we'll go into the practices. But does anyone have questions or thoughts they want to share so far? Okay, so let's begin. We're going to do a body scan, keeping it kind of brief. It's possible to take quite a long time with the body scan, and sometimes I do that, and it's very calming. But we're going to go right into mindfulness of thoughts as well. So this kind of gives you a taste of a couple of different practices. So for the body scan, you can lie down if you would like, if you're not too sleepy, because that's a hazard of doing these practices. Lying down is that people fall asleep sometimes. If you're not sleepy, if you're pretty alert, lying down is a nice way to do a body scan, but absolutely works to do it seated as well. So Find a comfortable position for yourself. Allow your body to settle down and become still. Just settling down. Breathing naturally, or if you would like, taking 3 nice slow breaths, tuning in to the breath, to your mind, your heart, your body in this moment. Just seeing what's here for you. And resting now in that full awareness, really present, opening and resting in the moment with whatever is here for you in your mind, in your emotions, in your body. We're going to take some time now to pay attention to sensations in the body. We'll scan through the entire body, one area at a time, beginning at the top of your head, making our way down to the toes and the feet. As we begin, just feeling your entire body sitting or lying there. Feeling into the areas where your body contacts the floor or the chair, sensing your weight, the contact, where the weight of your body meets the surface. Your legs, your back, your arms, your head. And maybe also noticing your breath if that's comfortable for you. The purpose is to be present with your body, just checking in a non-judgmental way. Whatever is here for you is okay. Feeling whatever is here. In some areas you may not feel much at all. That's fine and normal. Just sense into those areas as if you could feel something. So beginning now at the top of your head, just curious about what you might be able to sense here at the top of your head. And the forehead, behind your forehead, just noticing what's here. Sometimes there might be areas of tension or tightness. Just breathing into it and just allowing it to be. Whatever is there is okay. We're just checking in, just noticing. The area around your eyes, all the little muscles around your eyes, your eyelids, and the eye itself, and behind your eyes. Noticing your nose, the outer skin of the nose, the hard structure of the nose, the nasal passages. Maybe you feel the air coming in, moving back into your nasal passages, back into your head. The cheeks, maybe you can feel the solid cheekbones, or the muscles, the skin of your cheeks. And then the lower part of your face, all around your mouth. So many little muscles here. Just softening these muscles. Aware of your lips, your teeth, your tongue, feeling the tongue all the way down to its root. The inside of your mouth, the back of your mouth, down into the throat. Noticing your chin and your jaw, the solid bone of your jaw, tracing up the jaw to right in front of the ears, to where the jaw joins with the rest of the skull, this important joint. Softening here, softening. Noticing your ears, the outer part of your ears, the inner part of your ears. Moving attention now to your neck and your throat. Noticing what's here. Your shoulders, just letting your shoulders drop back and down. And just notice what's here. What sensations? Your upper arms. Maybe you can feel your clothing against your upper arms. Or maybe you feel where they rest against the chair or the floor. Your elbow and lower arms. What sensations are here? Your wrist and the back of your hand. See if you can sense into your thumbs and all of your fingers and the spaces between the fingers. And then the palm of your hand, allowing your hand and your fingers to soften, softening. Back up now to your chest and upper back, the whole upper torso. What do you notice here? You may notice the movement as you breathe, all the different subtle things that move and shift as you breathe in and breathe out. Maybe you can feel your heart beating, or you may not. It may be very subtle. Down to your abdomen and the middle part of your back. What's here? What sensations are here? You may feel motion, little tinglings, different kinds of movements, sensations. Down to the pelvic area, your hips, your butt. Notice the pressure of your weight against the chair or the floor. Noticing other sensations in your hips and your pelvic area. And the thighs, the upper part of your legs. What sensations you may feel? Your clothing against your skin. You may feel the weight of the chair or the floor. Or you may not feel much of anything. That's fine too. Down to the knees and the lower legs. Just noticing what's here. And the feet, the ankles, the tops of your feet, the toes, the soles of your feet, your heel. Opening awareness out now to your entire body. Just open the doors. See if you can sense your whole body at once. Breathing and resting easy. You might imagine that you're breathing from the crown of your head and the air goes all the way down to your toes. Fills your entire body. Just resting now for a few minutes, not trying, not doing anything, just letting go and rest. Ajahn Chah says, if you let go a little, you can find a little peace. If you let go a lot, you can find a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you can find a deep and complete peace. As you rest in this quiet moment, before too long, you notice thoughts arising. It's natural. It's what our mind does. See what comes. What is the content of the thought? What is it about? Can you name it? Remembering something, planning something, thinking about what comes next, solving some problem. Observe your thoughts and see if you can put a label on them. What are they? What kind of thoughts are they? You might try to count your thoughts as a way to sort of identify them, each one. And over time, you might notice, do the same kind of thoughts keep returning? You start to notice a pattern in the kinds of thoughts that come for you. Are there emotional qualities linked to the thoughts? Are they worried thoughts or maybe self-aggrandizing thoughts, self-judging thoughts, or creative thoughts. Just noticing, seeing if you can name your thoughts, notice the emotional qualities, and see what happens next. As you continue to rest, and just kind of watch the changing slideshow of your thoughts, you might notice the quality of the thoughts. Are they soft or loud? Are they very subtle or are they very obvious? Are they words like someone talking? Or they might be images, pictures. They might even be songs or sounds. Sounds that play in your head as opposed to coming from the outside. And watch as the thoughts shift and change. If they do, see if they do. You might ask yourself now, who is observing these thoughts? Who is it who is paying attention with kindness, with patience? You might begin to open to this gentle witness that is carrying awareness itself. Who you are is loving awareness. Who you are is consciousness itself that was born into a body. And so you can shift from noticing the content of thoughts to observing the process of thinking, to resting in the clear space of awareness that is the witness of it all. I invite you to rest now for a few minutes in this clear space, in this awareness, in this clearing, in the dense forest of your thoughts, in loving awareness. And you might take a few nice slow breaths now as we bring this practice to a close. May you be at peace. May all beings be at peace. You might begin by just wiggling your fingers and your toes, twirling your wrists and your ankles a little bit if that's comfortable for you. Just gently coming back to alertness and awakeness. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So reflecting on the experience is actually a really useful and important thing to do. So you might just reflect now for yourself. What was that like for you? We combined two different practices, a body scan and a mindfulness of thoughts. What was your experience like? Again, not judging anything as good or bad, just describing for yourself. What happened? What happened for you? And if you are comfortable sharing your observations, it can really enrich the experience for all of us to talk about it and share it, if that's comfortable for you. I also would like to invite any questions or thoughts or observations. Is anybody awake out there? Uh-oh, I think I put everyone to sleep. I'm going to see if I can okay, there we go. So you can either feel free to type in the chat or unmute yourself and share out loud. I see one chat. I feel very relaxed and at peace. And someone says, thank you. That was very relaxing and calming. You're welcome. A total release of tension. Very relaxing. Very much enjoyed this. Thank you. Thanks. I feel relaxed. Would anyone be comfortable sharing specific things you noticed as we did the practices?
Hey, Anne.
Mm-hmm.
This is Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
Hey, hey, everybody. So it's kind of funny because I was, getting to the ear part. We're talking about our ears or relaxing our ears. And, it occurred to me how silly ears are on the side of our heads. And then I was kind of reflecting on Star Trek, right? And that series is known for having characters who are different and much diversity, right? And I'm thinking how funny it is that we'll look at a show like that, or I'll speak for myself. I may look at a show and the characters and just kind of laugh and think, oh, well, that's silly looking. But then here I am, right, realizing really, I mean, ears are pretty weird. So that's sometimes my mind would go off into these little tangents. Basically, I guess is the other point is my thoughts would kind of go and spin around a little bit and just go everywhere. Some of it meaningful, some of it not so much, just kind of like, in out. But other things were pretty significant, I guess. And then I would be thinking, I wonder if I should deal with that, or I wonder if so it was a constant bringing myself back to, whatever, or just attending to what was coming and going, really, then figuring out whether. I think the reflection is seemingly important, because probably would be good to maybe write some of this down, and I could actually take it a step or two further in my real life when I'm not relaxed. That's all. I don't want to monopolize.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. I love that observation about ears. Yeah, you can kind of come to see your body in a different way, to experience it in a different way. And that's really interesting. I see Cheryl wrote, became aware of body parts that I've taken for granted. Yeah, we do that. We take our bodies for granted, don't we? And we sometimes, like, I will sit working with a slouched back for hours and then wonder why my back hurts, If I could stay more aware, and I think I'm getting a little better at it now, stay more aware of my posture, it helps. You can help yourself by being a bit more aware of your body. Good. Well, does anyone have questions? I do want to say too, that I hope you found these practices to be beneficial, but there are so many kinds of mindfulness practices that even if these particular practices might not have been the ones that work best for you, I would encourage you to explore and try different practices and find the ones that do sort of resonate for you. There are so many ways to approach mindfulness and meditation. Meditation, by the way, I meant to talk about this. Some people say mindfulness and meditation are the same thing. Mindfulness to me, is much broader. Mindfulness is something you can do in your everyday life. You can intentionally try to stay mindful while you're brushing your teeth, or while you're cooking dinner, or while you're having a conversation with a loved one. You can intentionally be keeping your mind in the moment, as opposed to letting it run to what you're going to say next or what's happening next or something. Meditation is a specific practice, a specific way to develop mindfulness that is a very important way, but it's just one of the ways. And meditation can also have other goals besides mindfulness. So there's an overlap between what we did. They were mindfulness practices and they were meditations in a way. There was an overlap there, but they're not always the same thing. Are there any other thoughts, observations, or questions today?
Dr. Murtagh, I don't see anything else coming in, so I just want to take an opportunity to say thank you for joining us today and sharing this awesome exercise as a way to help us try to calm our busy minds during this time and any time. So thank you so much for your time, and hopefully the folks on here got some good information to take back and practice in their everyday lives.
Yes,
So everyone can virtually join me in thanking Dr. Murtagh for her time today.
You're welcome. Welcome.
Great way to close out the professional development week.
Yes, indeed.